Welcome to the deep dive. We take complex stuff, break it down, and give you what you need to get up to speed quickly.
And today we're continuing our series looking into the MPEP, the Manual of Patent Examining Procedure.
Right. Think of it as a guided tour, section by section. We're trying to make these core patent concepts clear for, well, anyone interested, students, pros needing a refresher.
Exactly. It's foundational stuff.
And today's focus, we're chapter 2100, Patentability, and zooming in on section 2162. Now, the title is a bit of a mouthful. Policy underlying 35 U.S.C. 112A, or Pre-AIA 35 U.S.C. 112, first paragraph.
Hey, yeah, sounds heavy, but the idea behind it is actually pretty fundamental to patent law.
So what's the core principle here?
It really boils down to the quid pro quo, the fair exchange. Inventors get exclusive rights for a while.
Okay.
But in return, and this is the key part, they have to give the public a full, clear description of their invention.
Ah, so it's a trade. You get protection, but you have to share the knowledge.
Precisely. It's not just about locking things up. The whole point is that this detailed information becomes public knowledge.
Which helps everyone else, right? Fuels more research, innovation.
Absolutely. Others can learn from it, build on it, especially after the patent runs out. It's designed to prevent people from just hiding their best ideas while still getting that monopoly.
Okay, so section 2162 talks about three specific requirements in the law, 35 U.S.C. 112A, that make this exchange work. What are those?
Right. Three main pillars here. First, there's the written description requirement.
Okay.
This basically means your patent application has to describe the invention clearly enough so that someone who works in that field, a person skilled in the art, can really understand what the invention is.
So you have to clearly draw the lines around what you're claiming, define it properly.
Exactly. You need to show you actually had the invention when you filed. No vague ideas.
Got it. What's number two?
Second is the enablement requirement. This one's a bit different. It's not just describing what it is, but how to make and use it.
Ah, the how-to part.
Yeah, the application needs enough detail so that skilled person can actually replicate the invention without, excessive guesswork or tons of experiments. It needs to be workable.
So written description is what, enablement is how. Makes sense. And the third?
The third one is the best mode requirement. This is interesting. It means the inventor has to disclose the best way they personally know of carrying out their invention at the time they file.
The best way they know. So no hiding the really good version.
That's the idea. You can't get patent protection while secretly keeping the superior method to yourself. You have to share the best approach you're aware of.
No holding back the secret sauce. Okay, let's make this concrete. You mentioned an example, a new chemical compound for treating a disease. How would these three requirements apply there?
Okay, good example. So for the written description, the inventor needs to clearly describe that chemical compound. Usually that means showing its structure, maybe its formula, its key characteristics, enough so a chemist looks at it and says, okay, I know exactly what molecule they're talking about.
Clear identification. Got it. Then, enablement.
For enablement, you'd need to explain how to actually make this compound. So describe the synthesis process, the reactions, ingredients, steps, enough detail so another chemist could, make it in the lab.
Right, the recipe.
And, crucially, also how to use it for treating the disease. You'd likely need to provide data, or at least a solid explanation of how it works, its mechanism. You can't just say it cures X. You need to show how and provide the instructions.
Okay, recipe and instructions. Now, the best mode for this chemical.
Right. Let's say the inventor tried several ways to make this compound, and one particular method gives a much purer product, or it's cheaper or easier to scale up for manufacturing. If they know that method is the best one when they file the patent, they have to disclose it. They can't just describe some basic, less efficient lab method if they know a much better way.
So if they figured out a super efficient mass production technique, but only put a fiddly low-yield method in the patent, that could invalidate it later.
Exactly. That would potentially violate the best mode requirement. The whole system is built on this idea of transparency in exchange for the patent right. Share your best knowledge to push the science forward.
Wow. It really brings it home how these three things, written, description, enablement, best mode, they all circle back to that core idea of a fair deal, the quid pro quo.
Absolutely. It shows that disclosure isn't just, paperwork. It's fundamental. It ensures the public actually gets something valuable in return for granting that temporary monopoly.
It really underpins the whole U.S. patent system.
It does. It's about rewarding the inventor, yes, but also making sure that knowledge feeds back into the public domain to drive future progress. It's a balancing act.
So the big takeaway isn't just have a cool invention. It's also be prepared to explain it thoroughly and honestly.
That's a great way to put it. The quality and completeness of your disclosure have real consequences for the patent's strength and, well, its legitimacy. It's that two-way street: inventor gets rights, public gets knowledge.
A really crucial concept for anyone dealing with patents.
Definitely. It's about making sure the patent actually does what it's supposed to do within the bigger picture of innovation.
Well, that wraps up our look at Section 2162 of the MPEP for today.
Yeah, so we've seen the foundation is this trade-off. Inventors get rights, but only if they provide that full disclosure, written description, enablement, and the best mode they know. It's key for the patent itself and for public knowledge.
Which makes you wonder, right, what actually happens if inventors don't fully meet these requirements?
Yeah.
What are the consequences? And, how well does this system really balance those inventor and public interests?
Good questions to keep in mind. Things to chew on.
Definitely. And remember, this is just one part of our ongoing educational series on the MPEP. If this was useful, check out the other deep dives. We're trying to build a clear, accessible resource on U.S. patent law.
And we absolutely have to give a special shout out to Mike Shepard. He's the creative director who really got this whole series organized and off the ground. His coordination has been essential.
Couldn't have done it without him. Okay, one last very important thing.
Yeah.
Just a quick disclaimer. This summary was put together using AI tools like ChatGPT and NotebookLM. So it might have errors or miss things. It's really just for general educational info. It's not legal advice.
Yeah.
Definitely not a substitute for proper training.
Right. For the official word, you always need to go to the actual MPEP or talk to a qualified instructor or, of course, a registered patent practitioner.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive.